The little evil laughed. With your words, I don't have to worry about you not enough to compensate me, let's start. Xiao Ding also rushed in at this time. She has always been relieved of the little evil, and she can't have fun if she wants to. I had to go back to the little evil body, and the Zhuang family smiled. Are you gambling or gambling? Xiao Evil looked at Xiao Ding and smiled. What did you say, Xiao Ding? Xiao Ding was afraid that he would lose, and she didn't dare to decide. She said quietly, I don't know, you can decide for yourself. Xiaoxie smiled. Xiao Ding, you are worried that you are still in a hurry, and you won't even have a chance to wait a minute. Xiao Ding exclaimed, then you still play. Xiaoxie smiled. Of course you don't have to worry about playing, what are you worried about if I win? Zhuangjie smiled. Okay. Little brother, pay attention. He began to roll the dice. He didn't play tricks, he shook up and down, but the dice kept spinning like a spinning top. According to the rules, the little evil first discerns whether the dice are fake, and the first time he goes down or two, the people who see the heat will inevitably be a little disappointed, thinking that the little evil is deceiving everyone. But the Zhuang family knew in his heart that he had met a master, and he didn't dare to be careless, and looked at the little evil intently. Xiaoxie is, to listen to the dice, 6 times, he smiled with satisfaction. Banker, you are ready, I want to bet on the banker. This time he bet 1,000 taels, small, and was eaten. The little evil was shocked. He knew that this boss was really a master, and when he used his hand to pick up the dice, he changed another set of dice. The second time, the little evil tried to bet 100 taels and pay for it. Everyone was in a mood of joy and sorrow as the little evil won or lost, but they didn't know that the little evil had gone through dozens or even hundreds of moves on the dice with the dealer. Dealers continue to change the dice, but unfortunately the dice are only 6 sides. No matter how to change, there are only 6 possibilities. If you add the difference between lead and mercury, there are only 12 possibilities. The dealer has practiced for decades, has been able to match all kinds of collocations to get superb. People cannot prevent it. However, when the little evil went to analyze, he had guessed that there were as many as 9 dice, and each of them had a different center of gravity, and he concentrated on classifying the dice, making about 4 close to 1 point, about 3 near 2 o'clock, about 5 near 3 o'clock, about 3 near 4 o'clock, 2 irrigated silver, about 4 near 5 o'clock, 3 irrigated silver, about 5 near 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock filled with silver, and the other 3 were normal dice. The little evil made a clear distinction between the sounds of each one, and if he made a mistake, he would have won. In order to find out the characteristics of these dice, Xiaoxie has lost nearly 10,000 taels. But he wasn't nervous or sweaty, he was as confident and carefree as he was tasting a tea. Xiao Ding was so anxious that she pulled the corners of Xiaoxie's clothes, and asked Xiaoxie to close the stall quickly. She thought that Xiaoxie was just a person. Xiaoqi smirked. Maybe he didn't understand the importance of silver. And everyone has pinched a cold sweat for the little evil. Some sighed, and some were fortunate to have a disaster, especially the black-toothed Hanzi, who teased the little evil from time to time. Although the dealer wins, but the more he plays, the more frightened, unconsciously, beads of sweat also drip out. he knows that today he met the master of the master, can listen to the sound of the points, this world's unparalleled gambling skills. He actually saw. What is even more incredible is that Kung Fu actually appeared in a child less than 15 years old. Can he not be frightened although he wants to stop? But the words have been said in front, and the casino is less than 3 watches. Or less than the specified time, if not all lost, it cannot be stopped. He's only running out. In the end, Xiaoxie finally showed a satisfied smile, because he had already changed all the dice clearly, and he smiled, "Banker, you are really good. How long have you been in the field?" The dealer said, "I started to learn to gamble when I was 8 years old, and I have been mixing for 45 years now." "Then you're a top master, but I'm afraid you won't be able to do it today, because you've run into me." The dealer smiled embarrassedly and said, "From 10 years ago to now, I have never planted a rib fight. If I plant it today, it is time to laugh. 10 years is not a short period of time." Xiaoxie smiled and said, "Okay. Let's make friends by winning." The Zhuang family said with a smile, "My surname is Wang, and my single name is the same word. Little brother, please give me a lot of advice." Xiaoxie smiled, "Okay. I remember that you are a master who told me to lose 50 games in a row, but now I can't." The Zhuang family smiled bitterly, "You'll know if you try." Everyone didn't know what they were talking about, and they all hoped that after this conversation, Xiaoxie would come back to life, especially Xiao Ding, who was as anxious as an ant on a hot pot. The dealer has begun to shake the dice. He knows that he will lose, but he still has a little luck psychology. This luck psychology is many people are willing to keep in their hearts. Only the little evil will not. The little evil does not believe in luck. He wants to gamble. He is indeed in the gambling skills under the hard work. From when he practiced gambling, he used the red-hot iron dice to throw. He knew how hard it was for him to practice this kung fu, but he never wanted to tell people what bitterness was. Maybe he no longer had the word bitter in his heart. People thought it was bitter, but he thought it was not bitter. This is a good place for him to be more evil than others. Others use bone dice, but he uses red-hot iron dice to train speed and dexterity. This is the reason why he won the dice as soon as the dice settled. Xiaoxie said easily in his heart, 26 and 157 points old. 3,000 taels in his hand is a big one, and it is really big. Boom! The crowd shouted for a while, and the little evil finally won. Xiaoxie glanced at Xiao Ding with a smile and said, "Xiao Ding is ready to collect money." He stretched his waist, as if he was winning. Xiao Ding was still in a heavy mood and said, "Xiaoxie will wait a minute, see that you have lost dozens of hands in a row, and you will be like this when you win a handful." The little evil shouted, "What about the spirits still behind and big?" He put the silver 6,000 taels into a big pile. The dealer immediately lost 6,000 taels, and the little evil lost it back. At this time, everyone was also happy. As long as the dealer lost, anyone would laugh when they saw it, and they thought that someone would finally avenge them. 7 times in a row, the little evil didn't even touch those silvers. It seems that the Zhuang family deliberately shook it to cater to the small evil. Is it only the Zhuang family himself knows? He won 7 times in a row, and the silver changed from 3,000 taels to 6,000, to 12,000, to 24,000. 122,000. The banker's sweat beads are inexhaustible, he is exhausted, his heart is more than enough but his strength is insufficient, he no longer dares to shake it. Because if you shake 2 more and lose, the little evil will win millions of taels. At this time, someone came over and said, "Little brother, you are so blessed, how about we push Pai Gao this dealer, like an ingot, chubby like Mate Raya Buddha, no more than 6 feet tall, limbs like frogs, short and fleshy, yellow brocade robe, thin eyes and thick eyebrows, fat face and garlic nose, big mouth and thick lips, full of flesh, fat so fat that you can't see the neck is there." He looked at Xiaoxie with a smile, wanting to solve Wang Jun's danger. The little evil thought, his mother's little liver, do you think you can do it he? Hey, let's see. He said, "Xiao Ding, Xiaoqi collects money, yellow." He had turned to another table. Xiao Ding and Xiaoqi grinned and carried the gold and silver tickets. This is not a joke, full of real gold and real silver. They put away the gold ingots and silver tickets on the desktop, and walked to Xiaoxie. Xiao Ding is no longer worried, she sincerely admires Xiaoxie, this strange sweetheart. Xiaoxie looked at the dealer and smiled, brushed his sleeves and elbows on the table and said with a smile, "Little Mate Raya Buddha, you pile up Pai Gao like the road is more unfavorable to me, because you take the sky and I take it. When will this bet be won or lost?" Zhuangjia twitched his nostrils and smiled. Is it possible for little brother to be like this for every deck of brands? Xiaoxie shouted, "Mate Raya big fat Buddha, you don't give me this set, insiders don't speak layman's words, today I am intent on winning money, no one should hide from anyone in these ways, if you are afraid, you will immediately close the stall, otherwise you will be fair, just 10 symptoms are not enough, I want to win 500,000 taels, you have a bottom in your heart, bet or not, you think about it."